No, it's funny because pirates like the sea, S-E-A, but we've run into all of these other things that sort of sound like this, like C, the solfege, and C, the letter. What's that? No, I'm sure the students think it's very funny. It's time to sing some melodies, it's time to sing some melodies, dinosaur style. Yeah! Alright, 1202 is our first one. We're going to do it here, and it's a German folk song, so I'm going to put some Oompa band on my keyboard here, and here's Do, So, and that makes this Fi, and there's So. Alright, you should do it through once with my accompaniment, maybe even a couple of times with my accompaniment, and then do it on your own without. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Next we've got this this cute little Mozart thing. I'll switch back to a piano sound for this. Actually, hey, you know what I'll do is I'll be a harpsichord here. So again, I'll give you a little light accompaniment, and you can do that with accompaniment for a couple of times and then do it on your own. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. If you want a accompaniment with a little more melodic support, here you go. 1, 2. Now, this little thing from Christoph Philbon von Gluck, or Orfeo and Eurydice. I'll do some piano work for this one. So here's a MIDI grand. It gives a kind of nice, mysterious quality to this. Scary! 1, 2, 3, ready, set, go. Good, and now we'll give an accompaniment with less melodic support for you to try singing along to. 1, 2, 3, here we go. Now, finally, you've got this Weber example. I'm not going to give you any accompaniment. Try to do this one on your own and take it nice and presto, so nice and fast. So in sum, what you're going to prepare is 1202, 1205, 1213, and 1214. And I'll recap all this at the end of this video. Now let me walk through a few of the other assignments that I'm going to be posting for you to do this week. The most sophisticated thing that I'm going to ask you to do, and by sophisticated I mean kind of fun and multi-layered activity, is to take the first phrase, or the first repeated phrase from Ethel Smythe's March of the Women, and give us a harmony or a harmonizing line that uses some examples of Fi. I wanted to do this in honor of 100 years of women's right to vote, which Ethel Smythe wrote this for the suffragette movement in Britain. So if we just look at the first system here, our first phrase here, you've got shout, shout. Up with your song, cry with the wind, for the dawn is breaking. March, march, swing you along. Wind blows on a banner and hope is waking. That's what you're going to do. Now notice, interestingly, because they were writing this for a general crowd, some people knew how to read music and some people didn't, and some people who didn't read music knew how to do solfege, like they had learned it in church choir or something. And so Smythe has like that S above that C there on the first line, above shout, shout, that's telling people to sing so. And then there's an M above up, and then with, you have an F, that's mi, fa. So there's people who are like reading the solfege, and then for maximum accessibility. Well, that's just fascinating. Votes for women! What I want you to do is look through this melody and think about what solfege in the melody you could harmonize with a 5 of 5. If you started with so, shout, so, mi, fa, so, la. That la, for instance, because 5 of 5 involves re, fi, la, do, 5, 7 of 5, you could have a, underneath la there, you could have a fi. So it could be something like, something like that. There's that re on top of the for the dawn, and then is breaking. Those could possibly also be a 5 of 5, or something like that. So what you're going to do is scan through this, and your job is to create an accompanying line, an alto, tenor, a bass, or descant line. So alto being under, tenor being under, bass being under, descant being above. And you want to use at least 2 fees in your line. So you're performing a line that you could sing along with the original melody for those first 2 phrases. And then I want you to perform or record your line. So you'll either perform it for your TA or for me, or you'll record your accompanying line. So again, you're doing something, you're creating a line which could counterpoint this March of Women, just from shout, shout up to hope is waking. And it's a counterpoint to that line that uses at least 2 fees. There's a couple of dictations. You're going to do outer voices and Roman numerals for a Schumann selection, and then just the bass line to a Florence Price selection. Now, the Florence Price has this oompa texture that it does. It's like something like that, like oompa, 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 oompa. I only want you to take the ooms of the oompa. And here's like an example of that. If you heard, you'd only take the ooms, you'd only write down the ooms as your bass line. So you'd only write C, B as your bass line. You wouldn't go C, E, B, D. So oompa, oompa would end up being C, B. So I'll make this clear in the template that I post, but you're only taking the bottom of what the piano is playing in the left hand. Both of these are on owl. So in sum, you're going to do those things for owl, and now you're going to do these things for your appointments next week. You're going to do a modulating melody. That's from the first couple videos, where you're going to go from, I think it's video 2, and I want you to start with that C being a C sharp, and then I want you to in D major, and I want you to modulate all the way through until you've got 2 flats in your key signature. So you're going to start with 2 sharps, then you're going to take the repeats over and over, subtracting a flat, subtracting a sharp, adding a flat, just like we did in the video. You're going to practice all of the arpeggios in video 3, but you'll eventually pick 2 to sing and pick 2 to play on the melodica, and this is true for either appointments or for asynchronous. Then you're going to sing numbers 1202, 1205, 1213, and 1214. People that are doing synchronous will be asked to sing 2 from those, and then asynchronous people should record them all, and we'll just take the best 2 to grade. And then finally, like we just talked about, you're going to do your own accompaniment or counterpoint to Ethel Smythe's March of the Women. So you're doing this counterpoint for the first two phrases, shout, shout, hope is waking. You're going to find two places to put fee. So you're going to do your own alto line or tenor line or bass line, whatever you want, and you're going to make sure that it includes two fees in your counterpointing line. And then you'll sing that for your either asynchronous or synchronous appointments for the week of September 14th to 18th. And that's it. Have a great week. Keep up the good work, and thanks a lot.
Have a dino-rific week.